So as you can see, we are here at the diorama, and I'm doing a top 5 things I think every diorama or display should have. And it was kind of hard to pick a top 5 because there's so many things that are good for a diorama to have. But these are kind of my top 5, starting with number 5, right after this. And we're back. So my top 5, number 5 thing that I think every diorama should have is signs. I think every diorama should have signs. Why? Well, it really steps up your diorama, takes it to the next level. You need signs. How else are your miniature people going to be walking around? How are your vehicles going to know where to stop? Your little 1/64 scale or whatever scale you're using vehicles, how are they going to know where to go and stop without signs? So I think signs are a good one and a must-have on every diorama or display. And let's get to number 4. And what's my number 4 thing I think every display diorama should have? Well, power lines. I think every display should have some power lines set up around the place. It just, again, it adds that next level to your diorama. Makes it look more realistic, I guess you could say. You know, having utilities around, little fire hydrants, anything, really makes it look good. So that's my number 4. Power poles? No. Whatever you call these. That's my number 4. My number 3 thing I think every diorama display should have is pylons. Why pylons? Well, usually your display doesn't have everything done. Roads sometimes go to nowhere, or there's repairs to be done. So place these around, you know, that block off roads or whatnot, and it just adds that little bit more, you know, the realism. That's what it adds. So I really like them on mine. You can also put them in the back of utility trucks. You know, the service trucks look good with them in the back. So yeah, pylons for your diorama. My number 3. And so let's get to the number 2. You know, the second thing I think every diorama should have. And that is dumpsters. It's got a hair on it. Yeah, dumpsters. That's the number 2. And these just add the lived-in look. You know, it really looks like your town is lived in when you got dumpsters beside the buildings. It really adds a lot to the diorama. So that's my second thing I think every diorama should have. It just looks cool. If you're wondering what those 2 vehicles are in the background, well, those are just some sandbox cars I got from a garage sale that I drove past, and they were 25 cents for all of them, and I just kind of cleaned them out, but I made the axles actually work, and Yeah, so those I really like. You got the Superbird and the Cadillac, the Bill. Very cool cars. And I like them rusty like that and old and chipped. Anyway, let's get back to now my number one thing I think every diorama display should have. I bet you're tired of hearing that now. Is, drum roll, more hair on there. Okay, there we go. People, you know, you need people on your diorama. Your display doesn't look lived on, if you don't have people walking around. What? Where's all the people? You know, all the buildings. Where's all the workers? Where's all the civilians? That's my number one thing. I think every diorama, most definitely, this should be the number one thing. In everybody's opinion, is people. Little miniature people. And you can even make little stories up for them. You know? So, anyway, guys, that's it for now. As always, thanks for